Okay, I'm using this screenshot sort of as a thumbnail, I guess, just to springboard into what I want to say. But I saw this screenshot, this of this man, Mr. Colin, and the Flowers Man, talking on Twitter today, and I just wanted to use it as a springboard to go talk about the Bible because, I don't like. Sometimes I do, but I don't like to stoop down to the Flowers Man's level. Sometimes a little bit. I just like to go to the Bible, and I told Mr. Collin that. He said he'd do more Bible study on his videos because he's got hours and hours of them, and he really doesn't teach the Bible. But one thing he does well is he will go to the Flowers Man's ballpark and absolutely whoop him at his own game, at his own, I call it the logic game. Just whoop him up and down, man. And so Mr. Collins was asking the Flowers Man, well, what is the effect? He's talking about the sword piercing the heart and having an effect. So he's asking the Flowers Man, what's the effect? And the Flowers Man is saying, well, we don't deny that there's an effect, but basically the man doesn't have to let the effect occur because he's got a free will. He even says, well, you know, God can try to pierce you, or the word of God is a sword. It can try to stab you, but you can, and he like motions his hand like you can block it away. And Mr. Collins like, well, come on, man, what does it do when it actually stabs you? Give me an answer. And the Flowers Man never answers. So he just whoops him at his own game all the time. I mean, whoops him bad. But excuse me. But the thing that I do, and I encourage everybody to do, even Mr. Collin. So you're talking about a sword that's the word of God, and the word piercing, and the word heart. Well, where is that in the Bible? See, because I can't find any place in the Bible that has a sword piercing the heart to change somebody who doesn't believe into a believer. Now, maybe you can make the case out of that, Mr. Collin, from the Bible. I would suggest you do that. Not just say it, but actually go into the Bible and make the case. But when I look in the Bible and I see that word sword that is a word of God, and the word piercing and the word heart, it's not what either one of you are talking about. Now, it favors Mr. Collin, I'm going to show you, but it's not specifically said like you guys are saying it. And it's over here in Hebrews. It's Hebrews 12. Hebrews chapter 4, verse 12. For the word of God is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, the word of God, piercing even the dividing asunder of the soul and the spirit and the joints of the marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. So it doesn't say it stabs the heart. In this word discerner here, the only Greek I'm going to go over here is this word discerner. That's a little weird. It's this word kritikos, where we get the word critique. So it's critiquing the thought. It's critiquing the thoughts of the heart and the intents of the heart. So it's stabbing like the whole man. It's stabbing the whole man, and it's dividing him, making him look at himself. It's critiquing the thoughts of your heart. What it is, and I keep saying it over and over and over, this is what the Bible's about, and it's death to self. That's what that is. It's death to self. It's on pretty much every page of the Bible. I keep saying it, and I will keep saying it, and here it is again. Death to self. The sword, and this is a believer. This is not an unbeliever, or what I call a bastard. There's God's children, and then there are, quote, bastards. An unbeliever, whatever you want to call it, unregenerate, where the sword pierces them, the word of God pierces them, and then they turn into a believer. It causes them to turn into a believer. I don't think there's any such verse in the Bible. And this one is not about that. These are believers. These are children of God. These are children of God, causing them to look at their sin, death to self. It's the inner man and the outer man, dividing asunder the soul, the suke, and the spirit. So the Spirit of God is in the believer. It's dividing them, making a critique. dividing this. See, the thing that has to die is the soul, the suke. Jesus said, hate your mother, your father, and even your own suke, yourself. It's the thing that makes you you, which is again confirming the basic tenet of Calvinism, which is the only thing I believe is the basic tenet, which is total depravity. The spirit and the soul, dividing them up. The spirit says, look at yourself. Discerner, critiquing yourself, making the child of God look at himself and quit his sin, death to self. And it's hard. So if you go to all the verses before this, where it's talking about rest, and even back in chapter 3, it's rest, which is Sabbath, means rest. This is hard. See, it's a two-edged sword. It's sticking in you. It hurts. It's dividing, making the inner man separate from you and look at yourself. Look at yourself. Death to self. And that's hard, and you need rest from that sometimes. Sometimes you need to rest. It's called the narrow way, or the agonizomai way. Agonizomai, where we get the word agon. It comes from agon. It's agonizing. Or thalibo way. Thalipsis, the tribulation way. Death to self is hard. It's agonizing. And man, you can't, sometimes you got to just rest in Jesus, knowing that you're his child. This is like if you spank your child and they cry, it's very painful. And then 5 minutes later, the child is hugging you, man. He's resting. He knows he's done wrong. He rests. And that's what this is. That's exactly what this is. The rest. Rest from the agonizing. Because the sword of the word of God is the sword that cuts and divides and criticizes you. Well, you can't live in that 24 hours a day. You got to rest. That's what this is about. So it's not about, so what they're saying in their video, this is where those words come from, specifically a sword and a heart and penetrating, and it's not what they're talking about. So if you're going to get what they're talking about, well, Mr. Collin, you got to go somewhere else. Get it out. You're not going to get that here as specifically an unbeliever to believer being penetrated. You might get it somewhere else, and I suggest you do that. And not just play the logic game only. Not just play the logic game, which you do very well, and you beat the crap out of that guy, Mr. Flowers. And, okay, fine. But I just wanted to go to the verse which mentions these things and preach death to self, because that's what the Bible is about, and that's what this is about. It's on every page of the Bible, and it's huge. And God does change people. It has an effect, like Mr. Collin is saying. That part he's right about. It has an effect. Man doesn't change by the power of his own free will. He doesn't change by the power of his will, period. He changes by the power of God, who quickens. The inner man chastising the outer man, beating him up because of his sin, and causing him to change that way. That's the way God did it. That's how he does it, like it or not. And this is talking about that and resting from that, because that's hard. The narrow way is hard. And sometimes you just need to rest. When Daddy beats you up, just say, okay. All right, I'm a sinner, Daddy. I love you. Daddy loves me. And let's just rest. And that's okay. And that's what this is about. That is exactly what this is about.